So we're using pricing to drive people back to weekdays. Our regulars come on weekdays in the evenings. We're trying to fill up a little bit more of the days with corporates, and that's about where we're at the moment. We're also looking at opening another venue. So.
Is there a video on there that we can watch to see?
I've got staff testimonials on there as well as customer testimonials, because obviously in our business, keeping staff is a bit of an issue. So it's that type of business.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Can we see if we can see where would we go for those videos, mate?
Oh, God, I didn't do the website. I've got no idea.
Well, hang on, we won't do that.
There you go, customer testimonials, there you go.
Okay.
There you go. And then there's testimonials there as well, junior and stuff.
Okay, so let's just go through it. I can already see some unbelievable amount of money being left on the table here, okay? Okay.
Apart from the fact that the videos don't work, that's good.
Yeah,
that's terrific.
Okay, but that's all right. Look, Eric, that's what this is all about. You're more than happy to be thick-skinned about this, I know. So, on
there's some written testimonials anyway.
Yeah, which I don't think anyone would read.
No.
You see, the thing is that can I just ask your target audience, your most profitable target audience, looks like what?
Yeah, this has always been a difficulty.
Male, female, age?
Yeah, it's male. Our audience or target market is predominantly male, young teens to mid-30s.
Yep.
And then our corporate clients can be anything from the local plumber to BHP and Rio. So it just depends.
And what percentage of your total turnover to corporate clients?
About 32.
Okay, and so therefore 68 is taken up by mainly teenagers to 30s?
Yeah,
okay.
Right.
Now, that target audience that makes up the 70%, given that a good majority of those would be Gen Ys, who have the attention span of a goldfish, does anybody figure they're going to read those testimonials? Yes or no? No. Okay. So therefore, they are not worth the screen they're written on. Okay. It has to be video, otherwise don't have anything at all. I know Eric's got video, but unfortunately it's not working. Can we go back to the home page, Kristen? Can we dull the lights? Can you dull the lights back? Yeah, thanks. Okay. So there's a video.
Try the vlog. Try the couple of vlog.
See?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Try that. This is just new, we just loaded this up, so let's see if this is working. Here we go. MTA League, Motor Trade Associations League. Good.
Okay, let's have a squiz at that. Good.
Might need to sit down so the others.
Oh, no, we've got two screens now. We've got that lunch one. Yeah. Must be slow reception here.
Yeah, internet is low.
Yeah. These hotels are amazing. You'd think they'd fix that, wouldn't you? Unbelievable. They get built for conferences and they got slow internet.
They need to attend your seminar.
Yeah. Eric, just what's on there, mate? What is on that video?
Interviews with some patrons that were there for the MTA.
Belmont for the Motor Trade Association of WA.
So therefore, there's overall cutaway footage like this, and then there's testimony, like interviews throughout. Is it? Okay, gotcha. Okay.
How long does it go for? You know?
The clip? Oh, a minute and a half, 2 minutes.
Okay, well, I think it might be wise for us to come back to the home page and let me pick on that. Okay. So, yep.
This appeals to me because I'm organising a mates party at the moment, and I looked at go-karting, and I'm not being discriminatory in any which way, but that voice turned me off.
The American voice.
That voice just turned me straight off, like some American chick talking to me about go-karts. I'm out.
That's a shame, she works for us. She's my social media manager.
Is she? Yeah, but I think you've got a point. Yeah, you've got a point.
It's just my opinion because like right now I'm actually looking at this. And I just went, oh, what was that? That's just my feedback.
No, it's fine. No, it's fine. Good. No, good point. And yeah, I mean, I didn't have that reaction, but I can understand your rationale behind that. So this is the home page, and this here, I don't know whether it's my eyesight, but what is that? What is?
That's a go-kart.
That's a go-kart, isn't it? Okay, right. Okay. Am I the only one that is maybe not as instantly recognisable as it should be? Yeah. I think everyone's with me there. So therefore, if you're going to have an image on your front page, you want to make sure that it's absolutely instantly recognisable. In terms of the problem solution, I think the problem that you have at the moment, and that anyone who's looking for one of these things, is what Eric did say before. I'm either new in town or I am in town, and I'm looking for something entertaining to do. Okay, I'm just looking for something that's fun to do. Is there anything in that website there telling you that this is a fun thing to do, that we're going to arrest your boredom?
Top right.
Top right, looking for some affordable family fun. See, there you go. So I missed it. Who else missed that? Yep.
I have a major problem with colours, especially on this screen, where, and I've only worked in IT for over 50 years, so
You know
take
what
it
you're
with a
talking
grain of
about.
salt. The challenge for me is I've never ever used red or blue on a dark background. And that's all red and blue, and again, the image is blue.
Yeah. So let's have a shot at what I think it might look like, what it might should look like. Stay there, Eric. I'm just going to do a drawing thing of it. Okay. So my view is. So we've got a website here.
Be able to take this page home, right?
Yep, absolutely. So therefore, we've got the ID up here, and it's called Kart World. So we can still leave that Kart World, and we've got the whatever it might be. And do we have a phone number up there at the moment? I'm not sure. Yeah, we do. Okay, that's good. And you can have, basically you're open every day or whatever your taglines are. That's fine. Who thinks? Who wants to have a shot at the problem that anyone has who wants to use this sort of thing? Boredom or?
The website?
Yep.
Yeah. I find it looks boring, and it looks like it's targeted to professionals, not for me to go there.
Good.
It looks like it's.
Could you get some teenagers?
Yeah, there's no
scream
interaction.
out
Like,
fun.
I look at it and I think, well, this is so I can go buy a go-kart or get some nice gear from my
It's
go-kart.
lacking something that starts with H.
Human.
Humans.
That's what we got paid for.
No, you've
It's
got
still
one
working
there.
on it.
Yeah, but he's not
No,
human. He's
it's
got
like Star Wars.
But and Eric, hopefully Eric won't go home and slit his wrist tonight. But I mean,
If I'm not here tomorrow, you know what's going upstairs. 20, 30 times. Just send somebody up to get me, all right? This is a body bag.
but no, so the thing is that I think this is very valuable for Eric, because there is a lot of dough being left on the table with that website. Yeah.
For me, it's like you want to be the stick without losing your license. You know, I mean, from top tier.
If you want to bring up our YouTube page, I'll show you the wedding we did.
Well, we'll be out in a minute. Just wait. We'll just get this finished. Then we're going. So therefore, if I'm talking about Disneyland is the happiest place on earth, okay? And you know that when anybody goes to Disneyland, they come out with a smile on their dial, okay? This is a different thing. This is adventure, adrenaline, it's blokey, it's ballsy, it's all of that. But at the moment, we don't have any imagery on that front page. We've actually got a guy in a helmet. Look what he's doing.
Stand still.
Yeah, so when he should be, like, at the very least, like, having a good time. So I think at the moment, we've got a Kart World on Valium. Okay? And I'm sure that Eric would prefer it to be on steroids. Okay? So therefore, let me see. Let's say we do this. We would have a welcome video here. Okay, don't take this too literally because this is a quick Rolf Harris, but we'd have a welcome video here, and that welcome video would be something that would just have the hairs on the back of your neck. Okay, these things would be just flying past. And you would have, and forgive me if it wasn't that other video with the American girl's voice, but you would have guys throughout the target audience, predominantly the 15s or 16s through to 30, and they would be going, oh, this is unreal. I just went from 0 to 65,000 miles an hour and I ran over 2 nuns. And it was fantastic, you know? And then the other guys going, this is the best party I've ever had myself, my former. And then all of a sudden, shoom. It's what's that movie called? Gone in 60 Seconds. Yeah, that. Gone in 60 Seconds. Yeah. That sort of feel. Now I know that within the realms of reality, you've got to be sensible about this. But the fact is that I think you've got something that's so exciting, but at the moment looks like it's a sewing course. You know. So
Sorry, just quickly, on mobile devices, that's all that shows up.
Yeah.
So on iPads and phones and everything, it's just a couple of bits of... Oh, hang on. It's just a little bit of writing on the page, so there's been no mobile
Yeah, it's not mobile friendly.
development.
Not mobile
That's
friendly.
to do with the, with.
That's easy to change, but
Yeah,
Background,
just
yeah.
Flash doesn't work. Flash doesn't work like that.
so it's only picking up in writing that's on the page, and that's it.
Okay, do you reckon that if you're a bloke and you're jumping on Luna Park and you're jumping on Dreamworld and you jumped on something like this, and we had a graphic of the car, there's a guy in the car, and it said, are you looking for a wild but safe adrenaline hit? And this is all action stuff here. This is a 17-year-old, this is a 25-year-old, and maybe they're putting their helmet on, I haven't got time to draw that. But there's a go-kart here, and then there's a slight the explanation here would be saying something like, if you are looking for something to do with your mates that you'll be talking about for months to come, where you can reach speeds of X kilometres an hour, and it's the most fun you're ever going to have, for $50, whatever the hell it is. Do you reckon that might have a little bit more impact than that? I think it would, okay? And here, the video, and what you do with your videos, by the way, because not everybody does what you want them to do, is that it is always worth doing a little doodle, watch this, okay? Because then they generally do what you tell them to do. Okay, so therefore, let's do that, and let's just say, so that would you have any idea, and Eric I think said to me in the lunch break that maybe you don't, but your staff would, on what the bounce rate is for that website, so we don't know what that is. But to arrest, let's assume that might be high, so to arrest that, would you be able to give something away free here that you think they would be able to, that they'd like that, and you'd give their details?
We got on this morning, and one of the things that we might be able to do is give somebody a written report on how to drive a go-kart, entry lines, braking points, etc., etc.
How to get the most out of it.
Yeah, how to get the quickest time.
How to get the quickest time on this track.
Yeah.
Beats whatever your track time is.
Yeah.
How to beat it. Because whatever I've gone, I've always wanted to try and beat their fastest lap time.
Yeah.
Do you provide obviously you can eat, drink
Yep.
there for like that facility? So maybe why don't you just do something like, free Friday, I mean you can't obviously advertise drink and drive, but something like a meal or a function, like do people look for functions? You said
People do good functions.
yeah, like birthdays, so birthday packages or boys' night out.
Sure.
I was just going to ask JD your viewpoint on affiliated marketing, like you were talking about corporate companies, men, obviously, when you do this type of thing. Also, you have another affiliated company, I thought you were saying private.com?
Privategirls.com,
Yeah, so are they in WA?
Yep.
So there could be a link from this website to that website.
Well, maybe
what's your
So you could get your adrenaline up here, and then go and get your release over there. I like your thinking.
My tuppence on this is, for the adrenaline to happen for me, it's to have a dashboard cam in the car as it's going
Great
around,
idea.
rather than your shot before,
Great idea.
where someone's in the grandstand watching. And the extra bit for me would be for me to challenge my son and to have them both going. And what develops on from there, there's nothing to stop two girls getting in there and having a go at each other.
Now we're back to private girls.
Yeah.
No, that was straight down on the line.
No, but
I
listen,
don't know what that other stuff is all about.
I have to give you, we have, each one of these 4 days, I give away $1 million for the play of the day, for someone who's come up with the best suggestions. It's the least I can do. So yeah, you've got the $1 million for the day, yeah. Just see Tony, she's got the money.
Where's my $1 million, JD?
It'll be Monopoly dollars, but anyway. No, you really have hit on something, and that is a dashboard cam. So
Yeah, but
this
that's the
here,
emotion coming in, because when I'm watching through a dashboard cam, it's the feelings inside of me, and the adrenaline will bump as you're screaming around this corner and just missed.
Yeah, the sad part about it is we've got that sort of stuff on our TV website, cable TV.
Gotcha. Okay.
And that doesn't take the money back from.
No, of course not.
Sorry, you got it?
Yeah, I think what you've said there, JD, is good because it covers the kids that want to come along with their mates, it covers the parties, it covers the corporate. You haven't really boxed yourself into a corner there, so it's, and...
I'd get on the father and son. I'll take him on any day of the week.
Max fine.
Oh no, the last time we went again just to try and beat each other.
Yeah.
So if you can hit on that, I mean, we didn't want to go again to start with, but we came off and went, screw this.
Yeah.
I'm going another time.
We're not at all competitive in anything.
No, I can see that.
The other thing though, I've heard you say it a couple of times, and I guess I got a bit of a thing about it, and that's, and it's come up there, about the women. You said, oh, you don't get many women. My experience going out to corporate functions is some of the girls have had a fantastic time. They love going out.
Let me pick up on that. The thing we find is that to try and get a woman to come to the track on her own, tough.
Yeah.
Woman comes with corporate, usually doesn't want to come. She comes across the boss and said, this is where we're going, this is what we're doing.
Yeah, probably.
When they get there,
They have a ripper time.
oh man, they get more competitive, young guys. And the other interesting part is, what's really funny, is a lot of the women are usually built like brew dogs, so they're pretty slim, right? And the boss is usually like me, carrying a bit too much condition. So the power to weight ratio kicks in. So the boss is going slower than the receptionist, and when she's kicking his ass, oh, doesn't she love that? He's not so good about it. She loves it.
To quote JD, that's when she's come off and still feeling like that, that's your testimonial that you want up there.
Yeah, we've got that.
Yeah,
we've got that.
Well, JD, you've got the capture facility, so there's no opportunity to capture people like your receptionists. The women. It's the women that you want to capture.
Yeah, that's always a tough one, because when we're trying to market this to corporates, 9 times out of 10, the people that make the decision as to what the divisional manager gets to see in relation to the corporate function is usually the women. They are the ones that get stuck with the job, because some guru will come out of his office one day and, oh shit, we've got to do something for the staff. Here, Joan, organise something, and trots off and leaves her with it. And 9 times out of 10, you end up at karaoke or golf.
So in your explain video, why can't you have then women telling what their objection was originally and how that was so untrue when they got there?
Yeah, we've got a few of those on our side that don't cover exactly that, but certainly do.
Is it licensed?
Is it licensed? No, it's BYA.
I was going to say you had a cocktail night or something.
Yeah, look, we've had
Yeah.
those. Yeah, we've had Bucks parties.
High tea is going.
High tea and the go-karts. Interesting.
The other thought I had was
Excuse me, have you also got a go-kart club?
No, that's well serviced by others. What we do is we have league racing.
No, what I mean is get guys who come there who join other guys.
Yeah, that's league
Race
racing.
each other.
Yeah, that's
So you
league
do-
racing. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we have leagues. So it's just like a bowling league.
Yeah.
So it's the same sort of thing. And guys will come along and it'll be open to, like the last one, that testimonial was from the MTA, Motor Trade Association. So we ran the league for them, so their members came along. But we do another league where you don't have to be a member of any organisation, just sign up and come along and you join a team and go and do your thing.
Just one thing, I'm in the wedding industry, and there's an awesome joint venture opportunity there for Bucks Nights and Hangers Nights.
Yeah, we've done quite a few Bucks Nights, they're a lot of fun.
If I'm not Perth-based, so it's irrelevant, but if I had those vouchers in my office, I'd be lining all my grooms up, and they would love me, assuming they had a good experience.
Yeah. We had an approach from a wedding planner in Perth just recently, actually, and he said he was going to give us this much business and yada yada, and what did we want to do for a deal. So we went back to him and set him up as a bit of an agent and said, well, here's the deal, this is the percentage. Depending on how it goes, that we might want to increase the percentage and the volume, etc. So we'll see how that one goes. But yeah,
That's what beer tomorrow at lunch.
yeah. Well, we've done a wedding expo before today, and that was a lot of fun. We go to the wedding expo, set up the go-kart, set up the display, all that sort of stuff, and it's quite funny because the guy and the girl will come to the expo, wander through, and look at the dresses and guys knows what. Then they get to us, the guys stop and the girls get going. It's quite funny.
What I was going to say before is when you bring a corporate in, What's the problem the CEO is looking to solve when he brings his company in there? Do you know that?
Yeah.
And can we put that on the website?
Depends on the CEO.
And it goes back, what triggered that was when I heard you talk about the CEO's receptionist beating his ass.
Yeah, you've got to be a bit careful about that because sometimes the CEO don't like it, so you don't go back. But usually they're pretty good with it. With corporates, we've done things from product launches, team building, customer rewards, all sorts of different things. So it depends on what their objective is, and then we can tailor the package to suit.
Sure, and I was looking at that objective component from the point of view of what's the problem the CEO's got. So that on the website, that would hit me in the eye and say, are you looking to create more of this sort of energy in your company?
I'm with you now. What most of the problems are is we've done this to death. We've done golf, we've had golf days, we've been to restaurants, we're sick of karaoke. For Christ's sake, let's find something different. That's the problem.
Something
and then they end up with something different.
You know what I reckon?
How many carts do you have going at once?
Going, how do you mean?
How many
On the
people?
track?
Yes.
Maximum 10.
So what are the rest of the parts you do while those 10 are on the track?
Usually give shit to each other. Finger food, eat, drink.
For them.
They're eating, drinking, chatting, usually talking about the race they've just had.
We've got the private women's website coming.
I'm not going anywhere near that.
Well,
That's a private website.
but good point, yeah. But I think blokes are quite happy to just have a beer and talk about what was their time or whatever it might have been until their time comes around. With the website, let's just run through what could be done here. Okay, so therefore we have our ID at the top, just like the Women's Day does. Here's our royal family story, the Princess Andrew is playing up, whatever it might be, so looking for a wild and safe adrenaline hit. Now, don't take that literally. It might be that when I would sit down with the likes of Eric and we'd come up with something that might just be a little bit more pinpointed, but nonetheless, you want a lot of fun. Basically, that's what it's saying. And you show a couple of people probably putting their helmets on in one of the go-karts. This here, great suggestion from Darwin. That is there would be a dashboard cam. Not to say you wouldn't have some wide shots as well, but you'd actually get the thrill of being in the seat. It's almost from your computer. You're sitting there going, wow, how good would this be? But you would also have cutaways there of the guys just having a good time, bumping into, the usual guys who are saying, oh, come on, mate, you never did that time. So it really looks like a fun occasion. On the free thing here, normally it's a free report, and the free report normally is the 3 biggest mistakes or the 7 biggest reasons or the 5 biggest pluses that you will get if you download this report. I wonder whether we could do something really a bit crazy with you. Could you not say, okay, we'll give you a driving skill test right now, see if you can beat 60 seconds. And I'd have to ask Christian, or maybe you with your IT background, can this take you through to a game page whereby we could actually give them the opportunity, just a silly little 60-second one, to see...
I was going to ask about that because in the toy industry there was free games. This was a crowd that supplied Lowe's in the US, and one was with an air tool taking off a wheel from a car, and the other one was a hammer banging in nails, and you just had to get your mouse and pinpoint the wheel, the nut and whatever, and then you'd have to beat the time, so collect your email.
In golf sometimes we hit the ball,
The basic game, but it was collected.
So this would be the same. It wouldn't be like a typical video game that you'd have with Xbox, but I'm just wondering whether or not that would take them through to a silly little thing where they play with their mouse and they press a couple of buttons to see whether that car comes forward. But of course, in order to play that game, then they've got to give the name and details. Now, if you think that's immature and it's a bit silly for the age group, well, fine, but I think in the spirit of what this site's all about, that would be a bit of fun. Because I'm not sure whether or not the learn how to improve your time would be sexy for a first timer. It might be for a second timer.
So what about if we phrased it, learn how to escape the cops at a police chase?
So look, if that doesn't work, the technology's not there for that to happen, I'm sure it is, then that could be. You could revert back to, learn how to improve your time score so that when you come here. It's just that that's making the assumption, of course, that they're made up their mind to come there. Look, this is all about adding a little bit of theatre to it. You'll see here, beats every other blokey, crazy, fun activity. I think the language that you need to use for this site, if it's 95% men, I think the language needs to be blokey. It needs to be Paul Hogan, it needs to be Steve Irwin, it needs to be down to earth. And I don't know whether that's the case on the website here at the moment. Yeah, I'm just not sure that it is blokey, okay? Then, testimonials, but video testimonials. And this is the one where you are getting the lady's reaction when you've just mown the lawn, okay? Because that's when, you know, she goes, wow, look at this, I can smell the lawn. I don't know why hairdressers don't get video testimonials off the ladies when they come out of underneath those big space helmet things that they go under, where they've gone from, you know, ugly to nice. So, I don't know why they...
Beer does that.
So therefore, in your instance, you would get these testimonials when they get out of the car. And they go, oh, mate, that was fantastic. And they're patting each other on the back and they're going, I beat you by 3 seconds. Some go, well, come on, we're going to go again. That sort of thing. So it's fly on the wall, not, hello, my name's Jim. Oh, I think Kart world is just fun. You know, you don't want that. You want the stuff that's fly on the wall. Here, the 5 biggest reasons to come. And I don't know what they would be, but you could say, you know, look, we do this, we do that, we do that. Or you might compare it to other things. You might say, look, let's do a cross comparison, a Coke-Pepsi comparison against other things that blokes could do. And I guess it's skydiving, it's 10-pin bowling, it's, I don't know what it is, but the 5. So you basically do a Coke-Pepsi test, and of course you'd win every time, you know. But video testimonials are very important. Now corporates, I've got them down here because I didn't think of it, but they would be obviously up here. Or you could do a landing page for corporates. See, what I do, because it's a totally different audience with a totally different set of needs, and I think that's where you're coming from, this here is for the, you know, crazy Gen Ys and Xs that just want to get out there and drive fast and pat each other on the back and do that whole chest bumping thing, whereas a corporate's looking for this in a totally different perspective, isn't it? So why would you not have mail campaigns going out to the corporate sector and drive them to another website? And that other website might very well be just a landing page, which if they want to go further, they can click through to all the pages behind this. But at least it's got its own landing page where you're talking corporate language. You wouldn't be talking Paul Hogan language so much. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if you're going to send out a mail campaign, just send out a mail campaign, direct them to the corporate page.
The other thing you could do with a corporate as well is incorporate be it a sales or just a corporate motivation group and get someone like JD to come along and spend half an hour talking, because the skills required for driving, get on a road or around a track, are exactly the same as needed to survive in business.
So you're saying there's a metaphor sort of...
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. And really, look, a lot of seminar speakers do that. They've come from... There's a guy out there, Tony, you see him, he's a kung fu expert, he's a Japanese guy. And so what he does is goes around and talks about attack and defence in business and all this sort of stuff.
Ninja.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, exactly. So a lot of them have sort of morphed. The skills got absolutely nothing at all to do with business, but they've been able to bring it around to that. Yeah.
What is that fine print next to that one?
Yeah.
The fine print.
Yeah.
No, below that. That's not.
Yeah.
No, yeah, just below.
Sorry, the 5 biggest reasons.
Can you?
Oh, sorry. Can you beat 60 seconds? That's all. Yeah. So that was can you beat. So in other words, we're going to put you to the test. Can you beat 60 seconds? Okay. So again, it's just using that blokey sort of competitive sort of stuff. Who votes that if we did something like this, and by the way, this would be very Indiana Jones. Remember that Darwin fishing lodge I showed you, where it's action, it's adventure, and there's crocodiles, and it's really blokey sort of stuff? I'm not suggesting crocodile, but I'm saying this should be very blokey and very action, very Indiana Jonesy sort of thing. And don't take me literally, I'm not saying Indiana Jones, but it's got to be action. Does that give you a feeling of Action Jackson at the moment, that website? I don't think it does it? Okay. Okay, so therefore, whilst Eric's here, can I ask you, how do you market outside of online? How do you market?
We have, we call it black passes. They're a buy one, get one half price card. We send out about 250 of those a week, just to businesses in the yellow pages.
And what return do you get?
Varies 4 to 5%.
Okay.
We do lots of work for charity, give a lot of stuff away, and
not saying newspapers are right, by the way, but just grilling
newspapers. We do targeted campaigns for newspapers, school holiday type stuff. You know, targeted for kids. You know, mum, you've got nothing else to do with the kids on the weekend. They're driving your nuts, bring it down here. So it's a school holiday stuff. Facebook, Twitter. And, I've got a social media manager that handles all that stuff.
So the Facebook girl, the social media girl would go looking for...
That's the Texas tornado that he doesn't like.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So therefore, it would go from, say, 16 or 17 years of age through to 35, and you'd be targeting them with their profiles?
speak to her.
Yeah, okay, but that's what you're doing, which you, okay.
Well, well, so.
Yep. But do you have, when you say 4 or 5% return on the 250 cards that you're sending out, that's not too bad at all in this day and age, you know. So when you say 4 or 5% on 250, why would you not send out 2,050 then? Capacity?
It's a capacity.
Capacity, okay,
Yeah.
right. So you're full without a problem on the weekend, but weekdays?
Yeah. Our weekends are ballistic, and winter time's obviously better than summer.
Yep.
So once the Christmas school holidays are done, from the end of the Christmas school holidays to Easter, then it's mackerel I lose a fortune. And then once the Easter comes in, we're off again. So that period of time is maintenance, repairs, paint, and make it good. So,
Okay, yeah, well that's a challenge because my duck season, in the duck shooting, the duck season analogy before, very hard to get people out of their, their comfort of their normal lifestyle into that when it's off season, but nonetheless, there could be ways. Guys, do you reckon this would be something that Eric should consider doing?
Yeah.
And do you think a landing page for corporates, in other words, a separate website for corporates makes sense? I think so, because this is Chinese to corporates. They're not going to want to come on here and see guys who are, you know, look like they're half pissed, go, this is great, it's fantastic. It's the corporate thing, it's the whole team building, a different, complete ambience.
And the nice thing about the corporates is that they don't want to do it on weekends.
yeah, exactly, and that's what we're trying to do. We've used pricing to move our demand back to weekends, and all our regular, because we've got 3 different levels of carts speed-wise. So our top guys that are driving the real quick carts, they know all the time that they don't have to come on weekends.
Yeah.
So they come during the week at nights. Now we've got to fill the days up. Corporates fill the days up. And that's one of our little challenges that we have, is filling the days.
Well, the other thought that comes to mind is not to sell go-karting to the corporates, but to sell a sales motivation seminar. By the way, there's go-karting there as well.
It's interesting you say that. I've been trying to get something like that going for some time. One of the difficulties I have with our venue is physical capacity of the building. So I've got a cafe area that's a certain size, which will handle probably 40 or 50 people. Once we get over that, it gets tough.
Because that's tough in that when you've got beautiful places like this to hold corporate events, to say come along to a, you know, basically a big tin shed, isn't it?
It's a bit rough.
But you know what
it's
I mean.
It's a brick shed.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. And then, oh, by the way, there's carts here. I don't know that would make it. That'd be.
Yeah, but why can't you do a JV with the bar down the road?
Yeah, and that's one of the things we've looked
have
at
it there, and
is
you
to
can
use those sort of facilities that are external to us. Look, we've hosted Vodafone, 3 Mobile, those sorts of people. We've had 250 people on the place.
Gosh.
So, you know, we've had some decent sized events there.
Well, look, just before we do move on to everybody having to write down their wow factors, can you imagine giving an incentive to to be the fastest time that week? Now, at the moment, the fastest time that week gets what? Pat on the back or a Kit Kat?
Oh, not that much. No, they just get recognised.
Okay. So therefore, I know wagging school that I did in the last 2 or 3 years, I would go to a snooker room, and back in those days we played the pinball machines, and we would just stay there forever to try and beat our best pinball machine scores. So I'm sure that guys never grow up. So imagine if you said, okay, the best time gets, or anyone that does a time over gets $2,000 worth of hotel accommodation, a voucher, $2,000 holiday voucher. Do you reckon that might stimulate a few people?
Yeah, it would be the sort of thing that would certainly go down with our league guys, for sure.
So this costs you $25, okay? So therefore, as a company I deal with here in Australia, that they will give you a $2,000 holiday voucher for $25. And what they've done is they've gone around the country and they've contracted with over 300 hotels. They've said to them, what's your occupancy rate? And the hotel says 65, 70%. They said, good. Well, there's nothing more perishable than those 3 out of 10 rooms that are not going to be sold tonight. You can't sell those rooms, tomorrow. And so therefore, they've done a deal with them where they've got those hotel rooms and they make them available for $25 a voucher. And that gives that person $2,000 hotel voucher to spend over whatever time they want. The only condition is that when you book a hotel room, like if this one was part of it, the condition is you have to have breakfast and dinner at the hotel. So they're giving you a free room, basically, but you have to have breakfast and dinner. Now, I don't find that a really onerous condition because when I go to a hotel, you have dinner that night and have breakfast before you leave next morning. So all I'm saying is that there are ways that you can actually stimulate usage by giving outrageous, it has to be outrageous, benefits for them to actually achieve something. And you know that if that's stimulated your business by 10 or 20 or 30%, you can afford to give away a few $25 vouchers. Yeah. Good, thanks Derek, thank you. Can you give Eric a hand? Thank you. Hey guys, what I'd like you to do, I'll bring up the slide presentation.